I rushed into the library, escaping the heavy rain that was drenching me. I'll come from my office a few blocks away, and by the time I arrived the rain had soaked through my patchy raincoat into my buttoned-up shirt. I'm researching some nasty stuff, but the weather is the real horror here. Feeling the damp warmth hit me as I walked through the second set of doors and into the atrium. I shook off my coat and hung it on one of the racks alongside the entryway. Let the inevitable dripping be someone else's problem. I went to the bathroom first and used the hand dryer to dry my shirt as best as I could. It wasn't enough to dry my shirt, just to heat the damp to a lukewarm temperature that was always made me think of urine. At school I had to manage to make this more uncomfortable somehow. I headed to the second floor stacks, shirt sticking to my back. I found a workspace to sit at with a desk. It was quiet, warm, and the smell of musty old books surrounded. If I had coffee to go along with it, it would be about as cozy as life can get. I'll have to sneak out to get some more later. Pull my beat-up laptop out and turn it on. It made a few sputtering noises, rapped a couple times, almost died, then finally boot up. Fortunately, the tabs I had opened hadn't disappeared, and I wasn't always that lucky. I was looking into something called Shkethry. The first reference I found of them was a brief note at the bottom of a copy of the Book of the Dead from Egypt, dated to right around OCE. Translated, the note said, "The Shkethry haunts this text." As courses go, it didn't seem totally out of place in Egyptian culture, although the Shkethry was a new term for me. I sent out a message to some of my colleagues asking about it, and I got a weird response. Only one of my colleagues asked about it had heard of the Shkethry, but they had seen it on a copy of the Epic of Gilgamesh dated back to 1000 BCE. The more digging I did, the weirder it got. I found references with the Shkethry had been discovered on an Olmec statue in Mexico, a Duric totem of the Celts, and even among the ancient runes used by the people who predated the Vikings. Little was known about the Shkethry because their references were always vague, but what I have gathered seemed to imply that they were ghosts that haunted books. Book entities of some sort, maybe book spirits. Today's objective was to study a new text a colleague has sent me from a Han dynasty in China. Supposedly it was a summoning spell for the Shkethry. I have sent him an email looking for a little more info, but despite his usual promptness, he had gotten back to me for days. So I decided it was time for me to dive in myself. He had sent along the original text, but let's be honest, I can't speak Mandarin, let alone read something from China that's close to 2000 years old. Fortunately, he has sent along a rough translation too. The original was apparently really intricate poetry, but my friend was no poet. This was choppy at best. Arise, spirits of the books, bring forth the Shkethry. Break the bonds that chain story, share the walls of the temple of books, beware the keeper of tales, who escaped his own takes to imprison others. Bring me to the Shkethry, so I can steal them away. Bring me power to eventually escape. Like it said, rough, but ominous just the same. I read them over a few times, whispering the words in the hopes that better understanding them. Felt a shiver down my spine. But that was it. Nothing clicked. There was no magical insight. Nothing. It was time for coffee. Checking my watch, I saw it was almost 10:30. The library closed half an hour ago. Shocked, I looked around and saw the top floor was almost barren. There was one other person working, earbuds in, but otherwise it was a ghost town. I quickly packed up my stuff and headed downstairs. In the atrium, I saw the front desk attendant. Sorry, I just saw time. I will get out of your hair. I think there is just one person left up there. She didn't respond. Weird. Normally they are super friendly here. Granted, she might have been mad that our stay might welcome. I hustled to the doors and slightly ran into them. When I reached the handle and twisted it, the door hadn't opened. It acted like it was unlocked, but the door wouldn't budge. Tried turning the knob again, pushed, but the door went nowhere. Tried twisting the knob, ramming the door with my shoulder, same result. Went back to the front desk. Excuse me, I said. The attendant didn't even look at me. He just kept looking at the computer screen and occasionally typing something in. I tried again. Hi, sorry to bother you after hours, but I can't get the front door open. Could you let me out? She typed one more thing and then got up. Success! Except when she walked to the edge of the desk, she turned the wrong way, walked into the office, shut the door behind her. There was the click of lock engaging. I ran to the door and tried the handle. It wouldn't turn. Started knocking. Ma'am, please, I just want to go home. Can you help me get the front door open? Silence. I banged on the door harder. Please, I just want to go home. I was feeling really freaked out. I just wanted to go home. But now I was a prisoner in the lab. I heard footsteps coming from the stairs. When they reached the ground floor, the young man I have seen working upstairs was there. Hey, I heard all the banging and yelling, he said. What is going on? The library closed half an hour ago, so I was trying to leave, but the door seemed to be locked. And when I asked someone who worked here about it, she ignored me, then went locked herself into the office. We're trapped. The young man looked around. There didn't seem to be anyone else around. Look, I believe you, the young man said. But I'm going to go double-check doors just to be safe. I watched him walk over the doors and try to open them a few times. No luck. I went over to him. It's so weird that the handle turns, but the doors don't move. It doesn't even resist like it's locked. It's like the whole door is frozen in place. Maybe I can help, a deep voice said from behind us. I jumped, whirled around, surprised by the sudden appearance. What I saw didn't take the shock away. It was a man in armor breastplate and grips, bronze helmet, carrying a sword and shield. He looked rough and scraggly, at the face of a young man who had aged prematurely. Let me at the door, he said. Suddenly the young man and I both stepped away. I'm going to send this cursed dog straight to Tartarus where it belongs. He growled. Then with a beer sword he rushed at the door, slammed his sword into it over and over. blows were vicious and violent, and each bounced right up the wooden door. Finally, as the furious assault resulted into nothing, the man stepped back. "Where is Patroclus?" he mumbled to himself. He mumbled to himself, "Need a better weapon." And then his body seemed to waver, and then he slowly faded away. That was pretty weird. Looking over at the young man, neither of us seemed to have words for what to say. Then the ground began to shake. Heavy thuds came from the other side of the entry. I looked over. My eyes grew huge. An elephant was stampeding towards us. I froze. The young man acted fast, tackling me around the midsection, throwing us both out of the path of the elephants. With a titanic tug, the elephant slammed into the door and came to the immediate stop. Then, like the man with the sword, he backed away. "What is going on here?" We both got up. I thanked him profusely for saving my life. He was pretty non-committal about it. I think he was embarrassed. "We need to find a way out," I said. "Why don't we split up?" the young man suggested. "You can go around and try to find someone who works here, and search out the back door and see if it's unlocked. Let's meet back here in half an hour." I checked my watch, then nodded. "Good luck." The young man nodded in return and headed towards the back of the building. I started wandering around looking for someone that worked here, but my mind was elsewhere. That man with the sword had said something about Patroclus. I only knew of one Patroclus, Achilles' friend, possibly lover from Homer's Iliad. And the armor and weapons seemed to fit the area of the ancient Greece as well. It was crazy. I knew it, but my mind went back to my research. Shkethry, book, appearance, set the magical spell. Had I brought this all upon myself? How was I going to escape? As I thought more about the ominous nature of the reference to the Shkethry I found in my research, the more terrified I was that I wouldn't get home. Not tonight, maybe not ever.